Hey guys, welcome back for another video. A different kind of video this time. We are in Utah's West Desert. We are practically in the middle of nowhere and there is no one around me for miles. I am 20 miles from the nearest town. We are in a place known as Locomotive Springs. These buildings that you see here were once residences and caretakers of the area. There are natural occurring springs around here. We are at the very northern tip of the Great Salt Lake. Oddly enough, the Great Salt Lake, which is just a little ways that way, supports only brine shrimp. Nothing else can live in it. But these natural springs actually have fish in them. And you can fish here in the desert. Who would have thought that you could fish in the desert? So we're going to try that. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I did bring some fishing gear just to try our hand. There's like carp, some trash fish like carp and suckers, and also there's some trout that gets planted out here. I don't know if we'll do any good or not. Just in case, I brought a little chest of ice. Basically, the rundown on Locomotive Springs is that it was established in 1888 when settlers came here to settle the area. The springs were roaring so loud that they said it sounded like a locomotive. So they called it Locomotive Springs. Even though the train ran through here, that wasn't the reason for the name. It was the sound of the springs. Since that time, with various resources being usurped, namely people digging up the ground to get water, people who lived out here, and also government projects, the springs have kind of dwindled down to a couple of, basically a bunch of small lakes, small ponds even. They're no longer roaring. You can no longer hear them out here. I'll be quiet for a second. So you can't hear any springs at all. I drove by one on my way in. We'll figure it out in a little bit where they all are. I'm not sure where I'm going to camp tonight. I have to drive around and find a spot. But for now, before we get started, I wanted to check out some of these outbuildings, and then after that we'll go drive around and see if I can't find a good spot for the night. Camping will be a little different on this outing. I'm not sleeping in a tent. I'm turning the mid-size SUV into a place to sleep for the night. So we'll get to that later. Right now, let's do some exploring. It's an old home. The history behind this is what fascinates me. The people who must have lived and died here. It's like people have taken a shotgun to the building. That stuff ticks me off. It's an old filing cabinet. Torn up carpet. I don't know how strong the floor is, but we'll go in and look. A little bit windy. I apologize for any noise. Look at that. Look at that shot. Looking out your window to endless desert. This is like the maybe the mud room. Everybody kicked their shoes off before going in Mom's house. Pissing her off by... Look at that. The hands that built this building, that put these nails in, are long dead. Got some attic. You can see the sky through it. Look at this old wallpaper. Oh yeah, this must have been like the kitchen area right here. Animals have definitely been taking advantage of this. Animals of a couple of different kinds. You can tell because of that. Of course. People have to leave their trash everywhere, don't they? Wow. So this is just a very small 2-room house. Possibly they utilized the attic as a bedroom. That was pretty common back in the day. I guess it's pretty common now too, but I mean, there's another beer can, broken bottle, piece of piping. This old wood paneling. And of course somebody stood in here and fired their shotgun. Another great shot out the window there. This is beautiful. You can see into the other room through this rat hole. Anyway, yeah, beautiful. The floor isn't too bad. I can walk on it and it's pretty solid. I thought it might be too worn down to step on, but it's in pretty good shape. I'm relieved to not see any tagging on the walls. It's so far out here that the folks who usually like to tag everything are just too far away. Piece of a pipe sticking down from the attic there. It's probably a light fixture. All right. Let's look at the outside. Whew, it is cold, guys. It's a balmy 36 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. So there's one angle. Kind of walk around the outside of it, give you the full view. Probably is a popular place for people to come out and get wasted, which is sad, but that's how it goes. Here's the bed. Doesn't look as comfortable as it once was. I hear a car creeping around out here, so suddenly I'm not the only one out here. I have a feeling I'll be the only one sleeping out here, though. There you go. All the way around. Oh, there is some tagging. 666. Kidding. Just kidding. Not really, Satan. Weird. Yeah, with the window up there, I'd say they utilized the attic as well as a living space. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's amazing. All right. You'll have to excuse the profanity. I didn't put it there. But I don't know who Himam is either. This has been shot up. I don't know what this was. It's all metal. Obviously not a living quarters. Some kind of functional outbuilding. Maybe a generator housing or something. Here's a look up the inside of that pipe, of the vent, whatever you want to call it. Look how shot up it is. It just makes me laugh that people have nothing better to do but come out here and shoot this place up. Actually, we're in a protected area. We're in wildfowl management area, and firearms are prohibited except during hunting season when it's allowed. Other than that, it's not. It's frowned upon, and you will be charged for using a firearm here. Hot spot. Today is the day. Well, it's not your usual tagging. Closer to the city, it's gangbanger tagging, and I can't understand any of it because I'm just a humble white guy from the suburbs of Utah. So, what do I know? But this is pretty straightforward graffiti. Peking duck, $3. $3.99. Okay. Not very creative with their graffiti, that's for sure. I don't know that that's what I would put on the side of a building. I could put anything I wanted on the side of a building. Peking duck. So that's it. I don't know what that was used for, but there's that building. And then we've got over here a train car and another train car. Looks like maybe an old trough over here. Yeah, probably. Animals would have stuck their heads down there to eat out of it. I don't want to stay in this part of the property too much. I just want to document it, move on. Because I don't know if I'm even supposed to be here. Something just ran underneath there. It moved so quick I couldn't quite see what it was. Some kind of rodent. That door hasn't moved in a very long time. Somebody in a car out there stopped, maybe fishing or something, or watching me, who knows. I feel kind of vulnerable out here by myself with a car watching me. That is an old train car. So I'm gonna take a few pictures really quick. I need to throw on my hoodie. I've got thermals on, a t-shirt, flannel, and I'm still freaking cold. There's a slight breeze and it's pretty wicked, but no ceiling on this thing. That's probably what that is. Anyway, go ahead and get some pictures of this. I'll throw them up on my Instagram page, Utah_Steve22, if you're interested. I don't know if I want to walk out to that other train car or not. Maybe tomorrow. I'll give it a try. We'll check it out before we leave. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm all done with my photo spree. It's kind of hard with the sun is going down in the west, and obviously it always goes down in the west, but it's kind of the way the shadows are hitting the buildings. It might be even more impressive to photograph this in the morning And you have the shadows going the other way. And maybe that's what I'll do when I come back and check out that other, whoops, that other train car. So for now, that car is still sitting out there with its front end facing me. It could be a, you know, DWR Ranger of some kind. Just making sure I'm not out here causing mischief, which is fine. I just wanted to document it before finding somewhere to camp for the night. It is 4 p.m., 36 degrees out here, and it's going to be about 20 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. So I'm prepared, and that is a big reason I did not want to sleep in a tent, just because I didn't want to freeze my tuchus off. We are going to be testing some gear on this outing, so, and it'll have something to do with the temperatures out here, but I'm not ready to try it out in a tent yet. In fact, it's still in the box. There will be an unboxing portion of this adventure. So let's drive around and find somewhere to camp. There are more things to see around here. I kind of want to space it out over today and tomorrow. So camp time. Well, I'm not certain. There aren't a lot of options out here. There's an old fire ring right back here. There's a tiny one over here. Right here. I do plan on having a fire tonight. I'm trying to keep warm in as many ways as I possibly can. Now, where I've stopped is by one of the springs. One big long spring. I don't know which one this is. When we're talking about springs, we're talking about a huge spring, not some little dinky puddle in the middle of the desert. So here we are. It's partially iced over. I did see some fish ripples out there, so they're definitely in here, but we'll have to fish over there. I can see them rippling. This is all ice, probably not very thick either, because temperatures here in Utah, it's very strange. They have been in the 40s during the day and the 20s at night, below freezing. And it is currently December 5th. This is usually completely covered in snow. So I'm very fortunate to be able to come out here now. That just goes on forever. It's huge. Now they did build a dike to dam up this water. I can see some like foundation work over here. I think I'm tempted to camp right here and be able to just fish right there. But I don't know. I mean, see, this is the problem. Everyone builds their own fire pit. And then you end up with 50 fire pits all over the desert in one small area. I think I'm going to drive around some more. I'm not crazy about this spot, and it looks like it's a popular place for people to pull in and fish. Being the weekend, that could happen to me. I could be camping here and wake up to fishermen in the morning, and I really don't want to. As you can see, the Great Salt Lake Desert, as we call it in Utah, the West Desert, is vast, and that direction would take you all the way into Nevada. Just over those mountains, actually. We're not far from Nevada. It's possible those mountains are in Nevada. I'm going to drive around some more. I don't think this is our spot. That vehicle that seemed to be watching me back there, they were actually just waiting to get into that little town. Those get to those buildings. It looked like they were just letting me take my pictures and video, and once I pulled out, they pulled in. So I think they were just being respectful of my space, especially with the pandemic and everything. Not that they would have come that close to me, but maybe they're up here to photograph it as well. Who knows? So they have it all to themselves right now. I wouldn't try to camp. Sorry, this is really bumpy. I wouldn't try to camp there next to the buildings. You might wonder why I didn't. And that's because it's behind a gate that says no access. Whoops, I didn't realize I was doing that. Okay, I hope I didn't screw that video up too much with my thumb. It's behind a gate that says no access unless it's hunting season, and I believe it is hunting season. And so the gate was open, and I was fortunate enough to get in and out when I did. I'll explore more of these springs once I figure out where I'm going to be camped. See what this sign says. Okay, so I was just over there on that little patch of dirt. We're on the opposite side where I said we'd probably have to fish from. Over there I can see the fish jumping. But I saw this sign and thought I would let you know. This is the Bar M Springs. That's the name of this. Pretty much a lake. This is a naturally occurring freshwater spring. The Great Salt Lake is that way and stretches for 75 miles. So, pretty amazing to have one of the world's largest saltwater bodies of water, whatever I'm trying to say, right there. And right here at the northern tip of it, fresh water that fish can actually live in. It's pretty incredible. Hey, look, guys. It's Trump Tower. All right, no political comments, guys. I'm just making a joke about the graffiti. I don't care for politics on my channel, so please don't post about them below. This is about outdoors, and that's all it's about. Okay, so a little bit of background here. Right out here, and we'll get to it. I keep trying to find a camping spot, and I keep getting distracted by all this cool stuff. So right out here is a landing strip that was built in the early 1920s. So it's 100 years old and was no longer used by the 1940s. And the reason why, basically aircraft in the 1920s and 30s could not cross all of this desert without having to stop and refuel. This airstrip was owned by the Department of Commerce. No idea what their function is. Not going to look it up. But it was their airstrip and also a landing point for anyone with a plane that needed to refuel and continue on their way. There are two giant arrows out here pointing the direction they need to travel so that planes flying over could spot those arrows and know which direction they were going. We've come a long way with GPS and flight. Literally fueling up a jet plane and traveling across the ocean for 17 hours straight. So back in the day, 100 years ago, 90 to 100 years ago, there had to be little waypoints like this, almost like the Pony Express Trail had stopping points for riders to rest and feed their horses and eat before traveling on their way. Kind of the same thing, only for aircraft in the 1920s and 30s. So these buildings, there are some foundations out here like this. I don't know what the specific buildings were used for. I'm sure somebody out there knows. But I do know they were just out here for people who lived out here and maintained the place and ran the place. A couple of people lived out here, and there were generators and radio towers, and it's all gone now. It's just foundations. So we'll check some of those out right now. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to end up checking out all the relics like I'm doing and fish tomorrow. That's the way it's looking. We have about an hour of daylight left is all. And when that sun goes down, it's not just hiding behind a mountain. That's the end of the horizon, my friends. That sun goes down, it's going to get dark. Anyway, let's check out Trump Tower. Look at that. Animals have even built nests up in there. It's amazing. They'll make a home out of anything, won't they? Wow. Now this is the tagging I expected at those buildings. It's certainly not a problem with those buildings, and I'm happy about that. In fact, I'm gay about it. Oh, the things people will paint on a wall. What is that thing? Some kind of pod up in there. And here's the backside. So I don't know what this was. There's some kind of box here. It's welded shut. No idea. But look at this. Now, I am hesitant to go down there. I'm seeing animal prints all over the place here. Let me show you. I'm pretty sure this is some kind of... Hey, that is not a dog. Possibly a raccoon, but I don't know why there would be a raccoon in the desert. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what that is. And for all I know, it lives in here. So I'm a little bit hesitant. I need to grab my flashlight. We're going to light it up, see what happens. Okay. Here goes nothing. In case you're wondering, I will not be going down in there. I'm just sticking my camera in enough to film. People have, though, your usual beer cans, some clothing items, a bucket for some reason. What's down over there? Here's what the ceiling looks like. It's just concrete. Pretty cool. Don't know what it was. But look at that. That's some kind of bed. Those are beds. Those are bunk beds. Some kind of living quarters. I'm a little slow on the uptake. It didn't even occur to me. It looks like something has been putting brush on there to sleep on them. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, you guys. Wow. Weird. There are beds right there. Did not expect that. From Trump Towers comes with living accommodations. Luxurious living accommodations here at Trump Tower. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to take a few photos of this for Instagram. And then We'll see if we can find those arrows. They should be over there somewhere. And walk along the actual landing strip, what's left of it.